r/AskReddit. Have you ever successfully got over a crush? How? By finding a new one. Best mate started dating her. I once was that dude who was the best friend trying to climb out of it. I'm a guy. I had a crush for 8 years. Since I was 11 years old to 19. It was such a hard part, but you guys. Honest advice. Work on you first. Learn who you are. Learn what you want out of life. Love yourself. It is one of the greatest challenges ever. But when you do, that significant other of your life will literally just walk in your life. Learn from the mistakes and the time wasted. It takes time and lots of work, but it pays. I am married to the person who I was meant to be with for such a long time. If they don't accept you or notice you, just keep moving forward and focus on you, not them. I realized that I was never destined to be in a relationship. So I moved on. There's a book called How to Fall Out of Love which details all the way you too can get rid of that pesky crush. Basically, it gives you tools to change your obsessive thinking pattern about that particular individual. Behavioral modification does work. Way too many. Usually, my perspective changes and they stop appearing attractive to me over time. Dating her mom. I used a ladder. I switched to Fanta. Deleting everything I had about her. Insta. Chat and never seen her for a year. Finally I got over her. Focusing more on me, my interests, and what makes me happy. Time. Yes. Time. I'm still friends with them. But what I did to get over them was think about the bad in them. Even if I couldn't find any. I knew he was hurting me. I'm a female. I knew it would never work out. We've recently been fighting a lot and that's what led me to believe it'll be easier staying as friends. I was constantly questioning if I even still liked him at this point. There were also many reasons why I shouldn't have. Or couldn't have been with him anyway. I looked into the long term and with all the commotion going on, I told myself that he's my friend only and that I will only end up getting hurt. It takes me a long time to fall in love or even look at anyone in a romantic way because I've been really heartbroken before. And if I ever do fall in love again, it's close to impossible to get out of it. But these were what I did. And I successfully got over a crush who I'm still extremely close with as a friend today. For me, what helped was learning that the guy wasn't all that great a person. I was in high school at the time and had a huge crush on this guy. We had tons of things in common. But eventually I realized we really had nothing that mattered. To make things even better, he started to say things that sounded borderline psychopathic, killing small animals, doing stuff because it would hurt people. I'm pretty sure he was faking it because high school and because he wanted to seem cool and edgy. But it didn't work. I use my imagination. I am a guy. So I try to find any and all resemblances in her face to her father. Then imagine her as him. I have a pretty vivid imagination. So this works well for me. Easily. I crushed on her because I thought she cared about me too. When she did something that showed me differently, I instantly stopped liking her. I don't understand how people can like someone who doesn't like them. Wanting to fuck, sure. But not crushing or liking. Used her as motivation for self-betterment. Shot my shot. Didn't go down anywhere near how I imagined. I guess I was making up signals in my head. Made things awkward because we had to work together. Yeah. I made that mistake as well. But anyway. Felt like shit for a couple of weeks. Dropped the ball at work a lot more. Made mistakes sect. Boss pulled me aside because they had noticed I was pretty down. Anyway, after he hyped me up a bit and suggested that my job wasn't in jeopardy but that he was disappointed and explained that I was making a lot more mistakes and didn't seem to want to be there, I decided enough was enough and started working on myself and being happy with myself. Started a diet. Joined a sports team. Volunteered for a senior role in one of my other passions. Lost like 10 kilograms per lockdown. Still kinda get down on myself occasionally, but I found out she isn't the person I thought she was, so I'm over her. If anything, I'm using her rejection as a platform for self-improvement. Not so much to show her but to show myself that I can do better than be mediocre. I dunno if this helps you at all, but take from it what you will. It was just nice to rant. I was being bullied for having a crush on him and he joined the bullies. He's taken, so I had to yeet the thought away. Sometimes when you actually get to know a person, you realize that you had an unrealistic or idealized idea of them. When I finally stopped looking for love, love found me. Easy. You tell them you like them. Get rejected. Wallow in sadness for a couple of weeks and then poof. Crush is gone. I invited a crush to come to our training. We do medieval sport combat, so I could spend some time getting to know her in a good setting. She had a ton of fun and kept coming back. But it was clear that she was only interested in me as a friend. I was a little disappointed. But I refocused on her as a buddy instead of a crush. I just started calling her dude and the rest fell into place. I find the way I address people has a lot to do with how I view them. I've since bonded with another over our love for axes. I've also invited her to come to our combat training when the quarantine is up. Worst case scenario here is that I have a well-trained army of Valkyrie to come with me to Wolin Festival when it's open again. By leaving high school. Think less of them. Yeah. By facing reality. If the scoop of ice cream on your cone falls off, get a new one instead of crying over the fallen scoop. Like they say, there's no use crying over a spilt ice cream scoop. Time and her getting a girlfriend. Time heals, results may vary. REPRESSION. Told them and got turned down. Hurt for a bit, but it's better to know. I actually joined Reddit to keep my mind off a guy. I got over it and I ended up ending our friendship. When I was no longer in love, I realized he was toxic. I put effort into helping our friendship, he didn't, but it wasn't worth it. I'm thankful, though. Because Reddit is a very good website I am very happy to have an account on. See. I remember how many times I have been in love in my life. Totally convinced that I would only ever have feelings for this one person. And then remember how in each and every one of those cases I ended up getting over them. There are a lot of beautiful, interesting, smart, wonderful people in this world. And the only way to meet the ones that are interested in you is to move on from the ones that aren't. You don't know them. You know an idealized version of them you've created in your head. Once I internalized that, I stopped having crushes. It may seem cliche, but invest in self-development. I had this crush that I wanted to be with forever. That was obsession and lots of fantasy. The first month after I cut ties with her, I was grinding out school. So I was very distracted. After that, she started coming back into my head. Every day. More and more. I was disappointed in myself that I couldn't steer things the right way. I just sat in my room like a mannequin. Doing nothing but just Jauska. Then my friends told me to distract myself and do stuff that won't remind me much of her. I started focusing more on building and distracting myself. Such as reading books, spending less time on social media, working out, sleeping for the right amount of time, starting my day early, and etc. That helped me tremendously. I've gotten much better after those activities. Even found a girl, but she left me as well, lol. I watched lots of influential people and started learning the real value of life, and after the rejection, you are the only person that matters and you are the one who can find much better people. Figure out as many of their flaws as you can. They exist and you'll get over them pretty quick after that. Met another crush who also had a crush of me. Yes. I asked her out. She made up some lame excuse. I tried again. Another lame excuse. Eventually I got the message. And tried hard to focus my thoughts towards other people and other things. Moved to a different country, and that at least she is happy with her new boyfriend. Still took over a year, but it was a fun year. Tested and true method is $CK your way around till you reach emotional emptiness. Yes. I got over my childhood best friend. I liked him for nearly 3 years. I just accepted that things will not work out. And side by side I reminded myself that I was lucky enough to know a person like him and to be able to experience such a good friendship. Though it took time, but the moment my heart did not skip a beat or I did not get chills on hearing his name, I knew that I was over him. And you know, it felt nice. P.S. He still is one of my closest friends. I told her that we have no chance, so I told that I was going to block her and she was going to block me, so I didn't get tempted. I got over her and now we are really good friends after I got over her, and rumor has that she has a crush on me, lol, but I'm going to just say let's be friends for now, maybe later, but you never know. She got married and pregnant. At some point you gotta admit, you're probably not the guy. Just wait 10 years and let them gain 100 pounds or so. Focus your feelings to something you're passionate about and can work at. Art, music, anything creative or anything you love. Focus your feelings there, and then whatever the outcome of your relationship, you'll may have a new skill by the end. Maybe even learn to put your love into that instead. This is from my own experience, and I am so happy to have started music years ago. They were in a completely different moment mentally than I am. The crush could very much happen, but right now they just don't wanna. Because they don't want the things I want them to want right now. And that in itself is the biggest deal breaker. By understanding this, you can understand that you can't force people into wanting the same as you, and that will save you a lot of bad relationships and bad breakups. You'll understand that the whole concept of soulmates and romanticism are completely insane. There is only people that are in kind of the same moment as you are and into the same thing romantically, sexually, and if they aren't, it's not happening. Yes, because I am older than 11. Kept myself busy. I would spend a significant amount of time with friends and family and try to fill the time I would usually spend thinking about her doing something else that occupies my mind, like reading, playing a game, or doing anything that requires a good amount of focus. It usually takes 4 months to forget one. I just realized that person is an asshole who comes off as not liking anybody, even themselves, and I think it's due to insecurities. But fuck them for being a toxic asshole. Either find a new one, don't see her for a long time, or seeing them do something so atrocious she immediately flies out of your mind. I was there for him constantly and he knew I liked him and used it to his advantage. The turning point is when he asked me to hook him up with my female friend. Something along the lines of she's not my type but she is hot, and then he fucked her on the first date. Yeah. I'm glad I stopped trying after that. Got to know him better and realized he was an arrogant dick. Found a new one. Just say love is gay, it worked for me and now I'm cured. Basically moved schools and never saw each expect over again after few random encounters, now friends. Went on a date with her and she was rude to our waitress. Time. And meeting someone else who is amazing, kind, and patient, and who I love far more than I ever did the first guy. Every time I got to know them better, more about their interests and tastes and personalities, I'd get over it. By hating them. Spend some time with them, lol. I wrote down all the bad things about them and read them daily. By putting myself down and avoiding her like the plague, I was able to get over it. He rejected me and got a girlfriend the day after. I just had to. It's been 3 years now and I don't really think about him in that way. Plus, he's gotten uglier. With my hand. Except that things didn't work out, which is one of the harder things to do. Then find better things to do. Hang out with friends. Go to parties. Listen to songs you like. Have fun. See how life is still enjoyable without them. Or decide to spend the time you'd spend thinking about them on something new and worthwhile. Catch up with your family. Learn a new hobby. Do something that will make yourself proud of you. Build up your self-confidence. Your skill set. Your current friendships. I've been in this loophole twice. Basically there are 2 ways. Sit down. Take a pen and a paper and write down all the negative things about your crush. Read them whenever you miss them. Think about your crush all the fucking time. Look. The point over here is your brain will get habituated by it and after a few times you won't be able to miss them. It works same as a song. If you listen to even your favorite song for more than enough times, Eventually you'll dislike it. Both of them worked for me pretty good. And just to add a little garnishes over this, find a new crush. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You shoot your shot knowing it won't hit target. Do it anyway to get it over with. Then you can move on forever. Absolutely. It's mainly just time and focusing on other things. The more you do it, the easier it gets.